Hey, this is Matt from the Woodworking Nook. Today I'm going to be making a very simple shelf for an Ikea bookcase. Alright, so I had some leftover melamine from a previous project. So I'm just going to be cutting it down and making a couple shelves for an Ikea bookcase that we have. Now keep in mind the IKEA shelves that are sold at IKEA are typically a little bit thicker than a 4x8 sheet of melamine. So if you have something a little bit heavier, you might want to either reinforce the shelf or buy it from IKEA. So we're going to use the track saw to make the cut. We're going to first do a scoring cut to make sure we have no tear out from the melamine, because that top layer is very brittle. So now we're going to cut the width on the shelf. We're going to want to clamp the melamine sheet down just because it's so slippery. I typically never clamp down my the track for the track saw, mainly because of the grippy feet underneath it. You usually grip it very well. There are very few instances where I have used clamps on it. So again, making that scoring cut first and then doing the full depth cut. Always make sure that you have your depth set properly. Here, I just barely had it too high. So I'm going to actually have to knock a little bit of that extra off just with a flush trim bit with my palm router. Nice and easy, just take that off. There. Just verifying the dimensions are correct for the shelf. Now what we're going to do is we're going to edge band the front with some melamine edge banding, just the iron-on. It's pretty simple to do. You just need a basic iron. I think I got mine from Amazon. I wasn't going to use our household iron. So just measure it out, cut it to length. I think these are pretty easy to rip. And I set my iron to cotton. I believe that's the most recommended temperature. Normally you'll want to use a brown paper bag in between the melamine and the iron just to prevent any burning that might happen. I use a J-roller here to kind of get it pressed down, but you can use a piece of wood or anything like that. And if you noticed, I was kind of pulling up on the edges there just to make sure all spots were properly adhered to the shelf. So now what we're going to want to do is trim the excess off. I'm going to use the router again with the flush trim bit. Now always be careful doing it on the edge here because it's very easy to tip it front or back, and you want to make sure it's nice and flat to get that edging off. So now I just take a sander to just break down those edges to make sure they're not as sharp. We're going to keep the other sides exposed just because you don't see them in the bookcase. So now I'm going to mark where the shelf pins will go. Since their shelf pins are not readily available, I just use a 1/8 inch steel bar to put in those shelf pins, and then just create kind of like a little groove here so that it sits in there. This is pretty much the easiest and fastest way I could think of to do this. So I just cut that bar with just a small bolt cutters. Now that the shelf is done, we can go ahead and install the pins and install the shelf, making for a very quick and easy project. Thanks for watching.